Alright, in this video I'm going to explain the importance of this February 11th SPY plan um, and why it doesn't matter how much a guru makes in the market. That's not going to help you make more money in the market. All that's going to help, I'm going to explain these two facts, but before I explain that, let's talk about this February 11th plan. And I made this three chart view here. And what you can do is if you go on my stream here and you click on it, and you click on it again, it blows up large. Again, it can blow up pretty large, right? And if you pause this video, you can read this, what's said here. Okay. And we talk about this February 11th plan. Now, and here's what was said by the world record holder, so-called world record holder. Now, can you imagine this here? The bias was very bearish. And let me explain you. I tell you as I was following what he was saying. Basically, he was saying that we were going to get a bear market bounce. But let me ask you something. What did we get? Did we get a bear market bounce, or did we break into new highs this year? So there is the larger mistake. But when I asked this to Mr. Dan Zanger, instead of admitting that he was wrong, he was quick to block. He had no reply. Do you want to know why he had no reply? Because he knew he was wrong. He knew he was wrong. He'll say some other baloney. Again, this is extreme proof, right? And I want to make a point here. Now, take a stock like Apple, and you have a billionaire, Carl Icahn, telling you buy Apple. It's a no-brainer. Now, here's a very important point I want to explain to you people. Just think about this now. He's a billionaire, so he makes a lot of money, right? And his advice must be, he's a billionaire. His advice must be great. But he is not. He obviously made him. He obviously said, obviously it was not a no-brainer, because he was afraid of the trade, then backed out of the trade. But according to him, buy Apple. It's a no-brainer, right? So how did he help the long? I made a video back in the day when Apple was before the 7-to-1 split, saying it was a great long-term buy to buy it. And if you did, you made money as it went from 80 to 130 high. It's still up. Mr. Billionaire Carl Icahn, well, he screwed most people. So my point is that it doesn't really matter how much money your guru makes. It's how well can they help you make money. And even if you compare the plans, by the way, let's take a look at this February 11th plan again. And you can see the level of detail here, explaining the reasons why. So you can see this. I explained it here. I explained it by the pattern. I explained what we had to do. All he said was this shows potential. He's not giving any clear indication of what has to happen, and that's how he does all his trades. What he has is then moderators in his chat room. They'll call it out, but he will not dare call out any trades that he does. In fact, Dan Zanger doesn't take any of his. In fact, he'll clearly state on his website that he barely takes any of his own picks. So this is a man who wants to promote making money in the market and will not take most of his own picks. Yet when most of his own picks go up based on incorrect volume criteria, he even trades stocks that have very low volume, which is counterintuitive to his plan. A lot of people have lost money following Dan Zanger. That is the fact. Sure, people are going to make money, but it's like rolling the dice, and I'll explain it to you. You put out 20 picks, and all your members are going to take one of those 20 picks. And so one of those 20 picks are going to do well, and a lot of them won't do well, right? So then those members who made money say, great, great, great. And so if the members happen to luckily enough pick the right picks out of his picks, Perhaps they even took you go to they fly over to one of his courses where you really learn how to really take his trades even better. Providing you invest $3,000, which is fine, right? But what I'm getting at is most people they fail. Whereas my detailed plan structure, it gives you a lot of insight to what you should do. It helps a lot more, makes it more clear, because I clearly talk about the volume, and if that doesn't happen, what else to look for. Dan Zanger doesn't have that, and really has a pretty large buy zone. And on top of that, if you happen to buy at the wrong part of the buy zone, then he would say, "Oh, the trigger, it didn't trigger." Plus, the volume is not clear. Therefore, he needs a Dan Zanger volume ratio. There's a lot of holes with Dan Zanger. Record holder, yeah, he may have been a record holder, but he became a record holder when there was barely the computers. There wasn't much computer trading back then, right? Computers weren't very powerful. Now you have way more computers involved in the market. And if again, clearly you can see the difference in analysis skills, right? Whatever I'm doing is very much more powerful. You can clearly see this between these two plans here. This plan here on February 11th reversal, and I followed it up, by the way, with 7 additional plans on the SPY. So just think about this carefully, people. Don't think that it doesn't matter how much money the person makes. How's that going to help you make money? It's really in the plans. Right? That's why I suggest people to follow my stream. Right? It's free. To become a member on, I'll go here, Power Target Trades, Power Plan Trades. Sorry, Group Power Plan Trades. You see this pin tweet video, and it explains how to become a member on Power Plan Trades. But I'm giving you some food to think. That don't forget too, people, that a lot of people in the market, there's a lot of services in the market, and what they do is they pick out 20 picks. It's the same idea. Maybe some will work and some won't. My system is very different. I try to scale down the picks to very narrow, and then they have to confirm is on top of that. But the range is between, and it really depends on the thing, between 5 to 7 picks a week. Well, plans I call them, not picks, but within that group, for example, even this choppy market, I posted this. Where is it? The QCOM GS. They weren't big winners, but they were profitable inside of a choppy market. So GS, QCOM, EXP. So while Mr. Dan Zanger was touting cash, I had actually plans that made at least 50, sometimes even 100%. In fact, Expedia made 300% gains by trading option 2 times inside this choppy market. Something to think about, people. Something to think about. The market is much more difficult to trade right now. It's choppy, yet I still produce winners. And there you have it, people. Something to think about. Follow my stream. Open your eyes. Because I'm trying to open people's eyes, thinking that they think that these service gurus and all this thing, most of them stink. Rink. Simple as that. And they don't trade themselves. They don't need to. Mr. Dan Zanger made his money when it was very easy to make money in the market. It was a joke. You cannot even compare it to now. You don't need to trade. And he even states it on his website, just open your eyes, that he does not take most of his own trades. Think about that carefully. He doesn't. It doesn't mean he takes his own trades. He does not take his own trades. When I make a plan, it's an intention to make money, to get into them myself. And that's the difference. It can be done with options because you don't need as much capital per thing, and you have much more leverage. But you gotta have very good entry skills with options. So to allow you to trade more, get into many positions. And again, I don't get into many positions because my plans are based on I focus on what's the strongest and what's going to work. Whether you're to the upside or downside, we focus on confirmation. And this video here is to help you open up your eyes and think about, again, you click on this chart here and you really think about it. It's not about the money. I don't talk about. It's not about the money. It's how does the person providing with the information? How are they helping you? And that's what you have to look at. Okay, I recommend people study my plans and study the understanding that how to read them, and they're taking action on them. But never take action until you've actually studied my plans, studied my plans, and then as you see the high win rate, you can take them yourself. You know why you'll take them? Because you have the confidence to take them, right? I provide the skill on the chart, but you still gotta look at. People think that you still have to put the work in, right? You still gotta pay attention, right? But there's a way better chance when you have detailed plans. This SPY plan was very profitable. In fact, I had a lot of followers they didn't believe me back then, who continue to follow me. They said, you know what, I didn't believe you with your February 11 plan. And they were like, wow, everybody was bearish. Everybody was bearish. But you. So we couldn't believe it. And I made my point with Dan Zanker. But people are blind to the truth. They're blind. People are sleeping at the wheel. So hopefully this video, gives you some food for thought, the way I explain things. Thanks for listening. Like the video.